MLB.com. This is the Morning Lineup Podcast. I'm your host, Will Leach. Today is Friday, May 30th, and I have been tasked with the sacred duty of telling you everything you need to know about baseball, and doing so in under 10 minutes. Know that neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night will stay this courier from the swift completion of my appointed rounds.
Another 1-2, and Sale got him. Career strikeout number 2,500 for Chris Sale.
We had ourselves about as good of a pitching matchup as you could possibly hope for on Thursday night, with the top two vote getters in last year's NL Cy Young race, the Braves' Chris Sale and the Phillies' Zach Wheeler, facing off. But you can forgive the Braves for feeling like they have bigger fish to fry. They just lost the first game of their doubleheader on Thursday, 5-4, their third loss in a row, dropping them 4 games under 500 and 10.5 games behind the Phillies. They were in serious danger of getting swept and essentially buried before we even hit June. They needed a win. They needed it badly. Fortunately for them, Sale went out and got it for them. Sale easily outdueled his Cy Young rival Thursday night, tossing 6 shutout innings, striking out 8, and giving up just 2 hits in the Braves' 9-3 win over the Phillies. Sale's performance wasn't surprising, but Wheeler sure was. He came into the game having thrown 22 2/3 scoreless innings, and he cruised to the first 3 innings with no problem. But in the 4th inning, well, it got away from him. Austin Riley ended that scoreless streak with a 2-run double, and then Ozzie Albies did this.
Ozzie Albies lifts this deep to right field. Castellanos at the wall, and it is gone into the front row. And the Braves have put up 4 against Wheeler in the 4th.
Wheeler ended up giving up just 6 runs in 5 1/3 innings. It's fair to say the streak is over. The Braves are still 9.5 games back of the Phillies, and they're even 5.5 games behind the Cardinals for the final wildcard spot in the NL. But for 1-9 anyway, well, they finally stopped the bleeding.
Here's the pitch on Trout, and he blasts one deep out into left field. It is Trout here.
He got that lower third, 115.4 off the bat.
It took a little longer than expected, as kind of tends to be with the future Hall of Famer, but Mike Trout happily is back. The Orange County Register reported Thursday night that Trout, who has been out since April 30th with a bone bruise on his right knee, ouch, will return to the Angels lineup on Friday against the Guardians. Trout was off to a slow start when the injury happened, hitting only .179, albeit with 9 homers, which was a lot at the end of April. But it's Mike Trout. When he's on the field, he's still one of the best to ever play. And now we get to watch him play again. Welcome back, Mike. There were only 3 other games on Thursday night. It was a light night. Here's what happened in each of them. Junior Caminero homered and had 6 RBIs as the Rays remained hot, winning their 8th game out of the last 9 with a 13-3 pasting of the Astros. The loss ended the Astros' 4-game winning streak. The Blue Jays are back to 500 after shellacking the A's 12-0 in the first game of their 4-game set in Toronto. The A's, meanwhile, are a season-low 11 games under 500. The Nationals' Mackenzie Gore was excellent again Thursday night, throwing 6 innings of shutout ball, striking out 8 and walking none against the Mariners. Problem is that he only threw 6 innings. The Nats gave up their 2-0 lead the minute Gore left the game, but fortunately for them, they kept playing for a while after that, long enough for the Nats to score 7 runs in the top of the 10th, culminating in the Josh Bell 3-run homer in a 9-3 victory. Also, the Dodgers made a trade. They traded some guy named Mike Villani to Cincinnati for Alexis Diaz, the former All-Star closer. Diaz has a 12.00 ERA for the Reds so far this year, which presumably means the Dodgers will fix him and have him closing out World Series games by the end of the year. After the break, there's actually a pretty big series this weekend, and the teams in it might look kind of familiar.
The Dodgers a strike away from a championship, from a proper celebration. Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
Remember the 2024 World Series? That was just 7 months ago, if you can believe that. So much has happened since then. How were we ever so young? Tonight, for the first time since that World Series ended, and the Dodgers crept within a mere 19 titles of the Yankees with their 8th championship, the two teams shall meet again. The Yankees and the Dodgers kick off a 3-game set in Chavez Ravine tonight, and we thought we might, on the eve of these two signature baseball franchises battling again, take a look at where they're standing 7 months later. First, the Yankees.
Aaron Judge, one man out. Goldschmidt stays put. Driven deep to left field. He's done it again. See ya! A monster 2-run home run.
The Yankees are in a very familiar place in the AL East. First place. Thanks in part to its divisional competition still spinning its wheels, or in the case of the Orioles, those wheels flying off entirely. The Yankees have an extremely comfortable lead in the standings, at least for the end of May. They're 6.5 games up, with playoff odds, according to Fangraphs, at an extremely meaty 98%. They've won 5 in a row. They have the best run differential in baseball. And in game 1 of this series, they've got their ace on the mound, Max Fried, the free agent acquisition who's been brilliant to the tune of a 7-0 record with a 1.29 ERA. Oh, and Aaron Judge is hitting .391 and hitting baseballs harder than anyone on earth. Trent Grisham looks like an all-star. Paul Goldschmidt's having the best year since he won the MVP, and frankly, they don't look like they miss Juan Soto or Garrett Cole that much at all. So the Yankees actually somehow look better than they did last year. How about the Dodgers? Well, not so much, all told. I mean, they're still in first place, though, with a much smaller lead. 2 games over the Padres and 3 games over the Giants. Shohei Ohtani, well, he's still doing this.
And Ohtani torches one, tosses the bat, and watches it fly. Shohei Ohtani breaks the tie with a 3-run bomb because, of course.
Freddie Freeman actually has the highest OPS in the National League, and Will Smith is having the best year of his entire career. But the Dodgers pitching, despite all the ads they made this offseason, is once again riddled with injuries, with Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki, and Tyler Glasnow all already on the IL. But again, they're still in first place, and they remain the overwhelming betting favorite to win the World Series if you're into that whole betting business. The series kicks off Friday night with Fried against Tony Gonsolin at 10:10 p.m. Eastern Time on Apple TV. And as you might expect, they're the national Fox game on Saturday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time and the national ESPN game at 7:10 p.m. Eastern Time. The real question is this the last time we will see them play each other this year? Or will there be another rematch in October?
This is a huge, huge step for the world of softball. I've been involved in softball. I was a college player, worked in the softball division when I was here at MLB. So for MLB to be investing in the women's pro landscape is just phenomenal. Obviously, this is a stage that is huge, and to be side by side, our logos, it's an amazing day for a lot of people.
Some big news coming out of the fancy MLB offices in Manhattan, the ones by Rock Center. You should come visit. We got merch. Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred and new Athletes Unlimited Softball League Commissioner Kim Ng. Remember her? She used to run the Marlins. They announced on Thursday MLB's, quote, strategic investment in the new AUSL, which begins its inaugural season on June 7th. The league, which features 4 barnstorming teams, the Bandits, Blaze, Talons, and Volts, will have its games featured on MLB Network, along with, of course, regular coverage on MLB.com, and its season will build up to the first ever best-of-3 AUSL championship from July 26th to 28th at the University of Alabama's Rhodes Stadium. Promotion of the league will also be integrated into MLB events, including the All-Star Game in the postseason, and probably occasionally this podcast. MLB and softball together. Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Pretty cool! And that's all for today's Morning Lineup Podcast. Thank you for listening. Please be sure to give us a rating and review and tell everyone you know about this podcast. I, Will Leach, will be back with you on Monday morning after spending the entire weekend locked in this room watching baseball alone. I'll see you Monday, hopefully.